Okay everyone, good evening and welcome back to FTRL for round number 3 in Division 1. We're at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix tonight. Joining me once again is FTRL Pagani now. He's changed his name from Panini, he's got reverted back to his original, so hello mate.
Afternoon. I'll bring the old girl back.
Yeah, you changing your name back, it's going to save some confusion. Introducing you as Panini and then referring to you as Pagani for the rest of the stream.
Yeah, Panini's had his year and now I'm back.
Oh, good to see the old name back in action.
Hopefully, can have a winning start tomorrow, but we'll see.
We'll see. Okay, so Canada, it's a short circuit. Many drivers say that it's just a couple of straights and some chicanes, but it's a tricky one to get right, and there's a high penalty factor going to be at play tonight.
There is indeed. The walls are very close, and invalidations in qualifying are going to be very easy to come across, as I found in practice. Oh, we've already got boys in the stream. Got Blue Phoenix back again. Alright, Lennon's in the stream and City Push Blue.
Yep, nice to have the regulars in.
To be honest, I'm surprised Lennon isn't drunk yet, so nice to see you turning up before you get drunk, so that's good. I am seeing some slight cloud cover. I'll tell you what. But a couple of guys are going out on the supers, so I wouldn't expect any rain this session.
Right, while we're waiting for the first runs to be completed, one thing that I don't think we mentioned last week is the combined Constructors' Championship. Now, obviously, we've got the individual divisions, drivers and constructors, and we'll have our winners and losers from that, but the overall prize for this season will be going out to the combined constructors from Div 1 and Div 2. So every week we'll be combining the team scores from both divisions and accumulating them together to give them a total. So after the first 2 rounds, it's McLaren that are in the lead with 87 points, Mercedes in second with 72, and then there's a 30-point gap to Ferrari with Renault another 19 points behind, and then it's a bit tighter heading down towards the bottom of the field. The points tallies have been affected somewhat by last week's non-running of the Div 2 race, thanks to some PSN/Codemaster server issues. So it was only the Div 1 scores which counted last week.
We have indeed. I mean, Baku is famous for not having many finishes, so it would be interesting to see what would have turned out, but I mean, we're on to Canada this week. I mean, personally, I think Baku would have gone well for McLaren in Div 2. But,
well, it went well for McLaren Div 1 with a 1-2 finish.
I was going to say, I can't complain. I mean, if we can get that again today, I'd be more than happy. Yeah, I mean, I know Plexitz has said in the group chats that he's not feeling particularly up to it today, but I mean, he's currently lying in second place in qualifying, so.
Yeah, well, birthday weekend, that may have an effect.
Yeah, it does tend to do that, I know that myself. Yeah. Luckily, mine started just before the season started, so it's not too bad.
So we've mentioned the combined tables. I'll just run through the top 5 drivers in this division as it stands at the moment. So its Physics leads after a first in Australia and second in Baku on 37 points. Plexit is in second place after last week's victory, gives him 34 points. He's also got a pole position to his name. T1000 Zach lies in third place after 2 third place finishes this season, puts him on 32 along with a pole position. Dutch Tricks, our reigning champion, has 1 second place finish to his name and a surprising DNF. Leaves him with 17 points after 2 races. And Chicken Guy is up in 5th place after his 4th place last week, which gives him 13 points. He had a clean race in Australia.
Nice. I'm pleased you can do the numbers stuff, because as soon as I start talking numbers, it all mumbles all over the show.
Yeah, you and maths don't get on.
Well, the stream's going to be live for a couple of minutes. We've already got a hashtag Team Ravers in there. Matt Claw's dad supporting, obviously, Matt Claw's, which you would anticipate, but it's nice to see. City Posh Blue, hoping CJ and Tom will do well tonight.
Yeah. Well, you were saying about
just gone to manual gears.
You were saying about invalidations. It's taken Dutch 3 laps to get a time in.
Ouch. I mean, he's on the supers, so you would anticipate him going to the ultras if he was going for a harder tyre strategy. So he's got time yet, but again, you don't expect to see it from Dutch. Now, I'm wondering if he's still getting used to that new wheel that he got just before the start of the season. I mean, you should know. I mean, you changed wheels mid last season, but it's not exactly the same, is it? So you've got to.
No, it does take a bit of time to find the sweet spot.
We have a Dan Summers in the chat. It's in. Hang on. Woo, greatest track of all time. I want to guess that's in reference to the podium he got here. So nice to see you back, Dan. And Dan asking, do we have a wild Aaron Loiterer in the commentary box? We do, but he's just here for hosting the stream, basically. So hosting the lobby, so. I would have thought by now I've seen more than just one 107. But I mean, Plexus had just fitted the Hypersoft, so. Oh. That has. Oh god. So From has retired and Rivers has left the session. City Porsche recognising that Cress has set 108.5 on the Ultrasoft, which is indeed a pretty good time to put him 6th place. Only person on the Ultras besides Brad in the top 10.
I was going to say all the top 5 have set theirs on Hypers.
Got a couple of guys saying hashtag Team Ravers, but unfortunately he's not in the session currently, so hopefully he can get back in soon. Got a lot of the Div 2 boys supporting the Div 1 teammates, which, as you said, with the combined constructors now, it's It's nice to see it come through in the chat.
Yeah, I've got a couple of the newly promoted lads putting on a decent show for themselves. CJ and Tomo, both 4th and 5th, and separated by 1/100th of a second.
Right, that's fairly familiar from last season. CJ just being in front of Tomo. I mean, I think Tomo had numerous second places last season, so.
Tico's just gone to provisional pole with a 107.8, so there you go. You ask, mate, and you're receiving.
I think penalties are going to play a big part tonight, and hopefully Tico can keep a handle on his, because the last couple of races he's picked up some needless ones. So. Then I see him in the fight. We've got Oxox up in 3rd place now. On a 108.1, 2000s in front of Flexits. River's PlayStation has unfortunately kicked his disc out, so he's hoping to get that disc back in and relaunched before the end of the session.
Well, he's got 6 minutes in which to do it. Here he is.
Oh, is he it? Let's hope that his PlayStation does not kick that disc out again.
Now, you know, I said that CJ and Tomo were close a few moments ago. I've just seen the gap between Ox and Plexits at the moment.
Yeah, 2000ths of a second. Yes. But Tomo has improved since and has got in front of CJ. It's Physics and Dutch, currently 11th and 12th. You'd expect them to have a bit better showing in qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, Physics sort of unexpectedly started, I think, 12th or 13th last week, and he came through to get the to get 2nd place.
He did indeed. I don't know if he's just like trying to make it harder for himself by starting there every week now, or. But
I'm sure we'll see an improvement on that. As we say, that Dutch puts in a 108.0 to go P3.
Nice. Right, well, Ravers says he's back in the session, but he's going to start at the back because he doesn't want his shitty PS4 to ruin it for everyone. Not my words. Yeah, there you go. Zach's just taken Paul back for 107.7. House of Zom reckons Tomo can shave some time off that, as he was faster earlier when he popped round for a coffee.
Yeah, well, Physics did improve his time. He took 7/10 of a second off of it, but it's only put in P9.
Got Agent Panda in the chat. Hashtag McLaren. Too right.
And like we said, this grid being as competitive as it is, and them being on a short track, there's not going to be a lot in this between a lot of these guys.
I was going to say, there's currently more or less exactly 2 seconds from 1st to 16th. And there's only 1 second covering the top 12, so if someone can find a couple of tenths, they're going to move up quite a bit. I mean, the gap between CJ, Physics and Chicken Guy is... oh, and Tomo, they're all in the same tenth, so... So Rivers is retired from the session like he said he was going to do. House of Zom asking who's in the Haas and Div1. I believe it's
Co-Andy and Bottle. Bottle's
FTRL
not here
Bottle,
tonight.
Isn't here tonight, so.
We're also missing Panda
And Tim 12.
and Tim 12. Thank you.
I remember seeing a message for it earlier, otherwise I would have no clue. Just for reference for our viewers, in case they can't tell, FTRL Remco is actually Remco. I mean, he has had a name change, it is fairly obvious who it is, but just in case, I'll just put that one out there. So we've still got 3 of the lads in the pit. Zach's just coming out now, leaving it very late. I just got on board with Tico, and it appears he's just trying to burn some fuel off by revving the nuts off it in second, third gear. So
CJ's improved to a 108 flat, puts in P5.
right behind his teammate currently.
I mean, he was absolutely ringing it out on that lap. He hit a wall, he went deep in the hairpin, so he was leaving everything on the track. Tomo's just done a 108 flat, puts in P4.
Oh, so Tom was in front of CJ. Oh.
And what I hadn't noticed was Bran, once again, going quietly about his business, is in P3.
It appears the Mercedes cars are very good in qualifying. Do you want to ask them what they're doing so you can replicate it tomorrow?
It wouldn't matter if I knew what they were doing, I still couldn't replicate that.
Oh, well, Dan Summers has a rumour. A rumour that the preheated oven is on his way back.
Watch this space. Dutch improves to a 107.8. Tico's just taken provisional pole with a 107.6.
I don't know if he was trying, but he was right up the gearbox of Matt Cause, who was trying to be the last car on track to set a lap time. I don't know if he got held up to the last chicane or not, but Matt Cause must have been validated because he's retired in the first sector. And he was still on track, so physics is 4th with 107.8. Cress is now retired from 7th. Chicken Guy gonna be 11th. Kawandi's entered the pit lane. So we've got 4 cars on laps. Zach, Dudge, Bran and Oxox.
Yeah, we're currently watching Zach as he attacks the chicane.
Well, Dutch has gone over the line. He improves, but not substantial.
Oh, Zach did improve, but it wasn't quite enough.
Bran is going very slowly, so he's not going to improve either. So that's our grid, folks. So in the end, that slipstream that Tico got off Matt Cause over the line, and Matt had just got in pole position.
Yeah, we said it was going to be close. 18 milliseconds separating the top 2. Dutch 3rd, Physics 4th. Bran ended up 5th with Tomo alongside. Cress in 7th, CJ 8th, Ox in 9th, and Plexits rounding out the top 10. Not a good qualifying session from Plexits, but he's only half a second away.
Got Brad in the chat, reckons he was on for Paul until he invalidated his lap time. So, I mean, still he's, what, 5th I think, so it's not too bad. Lennon, I don't ever celebrate anyone else but
Oh, hello.
Tico.
What's this?
Oh! Now I was wondering why I wasn't seeing so many 107s, and this could explain it. Could also explain why a lot of the guys went out on the hypers, I suppose. No, if I can only do this tomorrow, I'd be happy, but it's not going to.
You don't know, I'm hosting.
Don't know, Div 1 and Div 2 rain 2 days?
Never say never, it's FTRL.
We've also got rain coming this coming Wednesday as well, so rain, a week full of F1 rain. We'll see.
Yes, Peteman, it's raining in Division 1.
So for anybody in the chat, if you want to get your predictions for top 3, I shall read them out whenever I see them.
Right, well, Tico's going to lead the field away for the first time this season. We've got Zach in P2, Dutch Tricks in P3, with, I think that's his best qualifying of this season so far. Physics in 4th, so he's in a decent place to continue his fine form. Bran qualifies well again, up in the top 5. Tomo in 6th, with Cress in 7th and CJ in 8th. Ox down in P9, he normally qualifies a bit better than that, but setup could have played a part. Same could be said for Plexit's, normally a bit of a qualifying specialist, normally qualifies quite well, find himself down in P10. Chicken Guy in 11th, normally good with his strategy and tyre wear, so he could find himself moving up from there. Co-Andy, normally very consistent and clean, so again could benefit in these conditions. Remco in 13th, he's got the fast start in Catamies in 14th, so watch Catamies off the line. Matt Cause in 15th, has Raver's Revenge behind him in 16th, and Flying Throne in 17th, rounding off the grid.
For those that want to know, Ravers is currently 10 seconds behind the pack. I don't know if it had a slight spin on the formation lap. But Peteman has called Ravers King of the Rain. I mean, he doesn't really need any more titles because his head's big enough as it is, but... Dunzo in the chat, Plexit's first, Dutch second, Physics third, Ravers to finish 7th. I mean, it's optimistic. Aaron's well for Dutch, Zach and Bran.
Well, we've got 5 lights on in Montreal. A short hold. We eventually get going.
Went off on my screen.
I was going to say it went off ages ago. And Tico's got a blinding start, so he should hold the lead into turn 1. There's contact going into turn 1, and that is Zach's round. Yep. I think that was a McLaren went into the side of him, so that would have been Physics. They're all filtering down through that first chicane.
Chicken Guy's got an illegal overtake penalty. Flex hits into the side of CJ, but no damage, keep going.
Some very sideways cars through those chicanes.
Peteman reckons Crest, Chicken Guy and Rivers, so I'm going to guess that Peteman's a Renault driver. You just made that one a little bit obvious, but loyalty, it shows it's good, so.
CJ's having to go defensive with Tomo.
You know that thing where Dutch's car sometimes looks more sideways than what it is? It looked very sideways coming out the last corner.
I'd say it's probably more pronounced in these conditions.
My car's up 3 places from race start. The yellow flag in sector 1. I believe Ravers might be using no traction in the rain, so he might be not at 100% at the moment. He's got front wing damage as well, so...
Well, Zach beginning his fight back, he's up to P14. After being dropped to the back.
He's got on the outside. Oh, no, he's pulled out of that move, which is probably the smart idea in these conditions at the moment.
Yep, Brand going defensive against Cress, who's got a better run out of the final chicane. So it'll be side by side in turn 1. Cress has the inside. Can Brand hold it? He does. Holds position for now.
But Cress has picked up a time penalty. Easy to do around here, but lap 3 is probably a little bit early and you want to be getting a penalty.
Well, with Dutch and Physics keeping each other's attentions on one another, Tico's starting to put a bit of a gap.
It is indeed, that's almost 2 seconds and we're not even finished lap 3 yet. I mean, Tico came very close in last week's Challenge Championship race, but fell foul of penalties, so I'm wondering if he's going to take heed of that and try and stay away from the penalties tonight.
Yeah, now the problem the guys are going to have in this race with conditions as they are at the moment is no DRS. So they'll probably be running pretty similar setups. So the straight line speed is going to be compromised somewhat, because even though Physics was tucked right underneath Dutch's rear wing for pretty much all of that back straight, he was at never any point close enough to try and make a move.
Oh, Catamy's gone round. Doesn't look like he's got front wing damage though, so...
Cress is going to have a look up the inside of Brand at the hairpin, thinks better of it. He's almost pushing him round it. Physics and Dutch are side by side into the final chicane.
From tried to get up inside of Kawandi at the hairpin, but Kawandi got the better run on the exit. Oh, Physics is trying to do turn 1 on Dutch, but pulls out the move, thinking better of it. Yep. Pico just set another fastest lap, he's trying to get away while he can.
CJ's got past Cress at the final chicane, he got a time penalty for his trouble.
From's got Kawandi out of turn 2, but also picked up a penalty for his trouble. Mako's picked up a time penalty. However, the battle from CJ back...
I was going to say, there's quite the train forming behind CJ at the moment.
So we have a on-point observer with us today in the party, which is Aaron. He's not talking at the moment, but he saw Zach went down the inside of Cat, and Cat drove across him. That's why Cat spun. Oh, there's concertina ring at the hairpin.
Yeah, I think Tomo just had to go very defensive on Plexits and held the inside of the hairpin.
Oh, side by side.
That was messy.
Pushed Tomo towards the wall, not through any. I don't think it was meant. I think it was just. It's not a corner to really go side by side through. However, that's allowed Oxox to get both of them.
Yeah, and it struck Tomo down to P10.
Well, Aaron didn't like what he saw from Plexits, so...
Now, is it just my eye, or has it stopped raining?
Has it stopped raining? Yeah. Definitely stopped raining.
Well, got Ox trying to go up the inside of Cress at the hairpin. Cress has held position.
Tomo and Remco are side by side coming out the hairpin. Remco pulls through in the straight. Oh,
Cress has gone round. Yeah.
I'm not sure if there was any help there, but it looked like he lost it on the entry, so... But he's done the smart thing. He hasn't just reversed straight out in traffic. He's kept to one side and not taking everyone else out. So Remco just scraped the wall at second chicane. Oh, Tomo's gone for a slide, the same place Vettel did when he lost the race to Button on the last lap, which has allowed Matt Cause up his inside. Matt Cause makes a mistake. Upon a keen observer, Cress broke himself, took a bad line and spun, no contact. And Pete said just before that, come on Cress, then oh no Cress. So City Push said, Pete you jinxed it, and Donzo thought he was parking up next to the fire engine. So, oh, Matt Cause has bottled the chicane and had to run wide. Oh! Oh, please tell me you're on board for that.
No.
Matt Cause missed the chicane, so he's going to take like what they do in real F1. So he's gone for that wide line, gone slow through it, and just tried to pull back in, back on track normally. But he's misjudged it completely and just grazed the wall at like 3 miles an hour, and his front left wheel just fell off. I shouldn't laugh, but that set me off.
Right, well, while you were in your hysterics, the virtual safety car came out, and Cress and Catamies both took the opportunity to make a pit stop. They've gone onto the super soft tyre.
Ravers did the same thing, and as he's put the power on coming out of the pit lane, he's collided with the pit wall. He's still got his front wing, but only just. Oh, a lot of the runners coming in for dry tyres now.
Yep, I'm seeing a lot of purple going on these front runners.
Oh, a lot of them getting sideways out of pit lane though.
Yeah. Dutch has just stayed ahead of physics in the pit lane. The
While I
McLaren
was laughing,
did actually get released first, but yeah.
Did DRS get enabled, or is it?
I didn't notice.
Because I personally, I tend to wait until DRS is enabled. It just makes sense, but. No, Tomo is pulling away from Tico. I say that, he just lost a 10th, but I'd say it's still in that crossover phase. Which means, like, the tyres are just going to be wearing exponentially on this one lap. Which isn't what you want.
There you go, it's enabled now.
No,
Oh, Tico's missed the chicane.
Right, that's what Macaw's tried to do, but he tagged the wall on the left.
Yeah, he's actually tried to make a conscious effort to go around the bollard and clip the wall.
So Chicken Guy hasn't stopped, and because Remco and Tomo came in at the same time, Tomo's been forced to stack behind Remco, which was pointed out by Aaron again, causing a massive delay for Tomo, if you read Aaron's message. So, you know. But yeah, you got to think he was right at the back of Remco, and now he's what, 6-7 seconds behind Remco now.
Yeah, Aaron's sticky keyboard has struck again.
I tell you what, Chicken Guy has only lost about 3/10. No, he's lost 4/10 not the hairpin. Okay, I'm going to show up. Okay. Thanks, Chicken Guy, for proving my point of not being able to know what to say in commentary. He then picks up a 5-second stop goal for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, we've got Plexits and Remco side by side towards the final chicane. And Zach's past Remco as well.
Chicken Guy's just coming out of pit lane now. Comes out in 10th. I'm surprised of Dutch with a penalty. I'm a little bit surprised with strategy. I mean, are the people that got on the supers expected to get to the end from here?
Well, that's what I was just about to ask, really.
I mean, obviously the Ultrasoft guys are going to have to stop again, but you would think that they're going to go on the Ultras or the Hypers to the end, so I'm not too sure how that one's going to play out, but I mean, these guys are Div1 for a reason. Matt Claus in the chat, what the was that crash? I barely hit the wall. I mean, Jesus. Yes, I did sort of see your crash, Matt Claus. Maybe don't go back on the stream and watch it, but I have the video, so I'll send it to you later. There you go. Time penalties are flooding in tonight. I mean, I'm not one to sort of judge it because I'm going to get disqualified tomorrow, but still.
You and me both, buddy. It's going to be a very short night tomorrow.
About 4 laps for me, but you know. Well, through the pit stops, Tico has held his 2-second advantage to Dutch. As I said, that he sets fastest lap, so he's obviously pushing quite hard at the moment. And it looks like Ravers is going to get lapped after his early pit stop for wing damage and everything else has happened to him. But I don't believe he's picked up a penalty yet, so he's still going for a point.
Yeah, well, if you pick up enough of those clean race points this season, they could be the difference between getting relegated and staying in Div 1. Every point is going to help, no matter how you get it.
Right, so before the pit stop, CJ was at the head of a massive long train. He was about 7th place. Right, he's pitted, he's down in 11th now. With sort of no one around him.
Yeah, I think prior to that pit stop he was starting to struggle. I mean, he dropped off like about 3 seconds off of Bran. And, he had several cars behind him all snapping away and trying to find a way past one another.
Well, considering Zach got spun to the back of this field, he's back up in 7th already. That's been a massive fight back. And we're not even halfway through the race yet.
No, not yet.
Academies has picked up 2 penalties in the last lap and a half.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's the pressure he's getting from Frome.
I would have anticipated From making his way through the field a little bit quicker than this, if I'm honest. But, I mean, he said last week he was struggling to get back into the game, so maybe it's still affecting him this week. I wonder if Chicken Guy held those intermediate tyres for a lap longer than everyone else, so he could maybe go at the end on these super soft tyres. I mean, we know what he's like with his tyre wear, so wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, another one to keep an eye on would probably be Cress. Altus Frome sends it up the inside of Cat, who's dived it back up the inside of Frome at turn 2. I think that's getting a little bit spicy.
Oh, Frome's had a good run at this chicane,
He's
though.
had a very good run.
However, Cat's had a good... Oh, he did delete the wall. Had a good run at this.
Oh, Frome just tagged that bit of Armco that sticks out under the bridge, pushed him into Cat.
Right, well, before that penalty for Cat, Catamies and Crest both had 5 penalties each.
Wow.
What's that, 15 seconds in 16 laps?
Yeah.
And according to Aaron, there's only 2 drivers not to have a penalty as it stands. I want to guess one of them is Ravers. I'm not sure about the other one. Well, Zach is now on the back of Plexits. Oh, the other driver without a penalty is Remco, who, now that it's dried up again, appears to be catching the guys in front of him. So... obviously with the track conditions getting better and better each lap, everybody keeps setting fastest laps.
Yeah, are we actually going to be handing out a point for fastest lap this week? Because the first 2 rounds, someone outside the top 10 has taken the fastest lap point away from the top 10.
As it stands, it's Tico currently, but keep an eye on it.
Well, Plexits was very untidy through that second chicane then. It's given Zach a run.
It did, and I'm not sure if Plexit squeezed him a little bit, but Zach wasn't particularly happy and weaved behind him in frustration, I believe. Oh, Catamy's gone. I'm not too sure where that was.
Plexits goes defensive.
So before Catamy's retired, From, Cress and Cat were all right close together, but since then, From has pulled 4 seconds on Cress. Oh, Cress has left the session. And Remco's just picked up his first penalty.
Right, one thing that I've started to notice is Plexit seems to be struggling out of the second chicane. That seems to be where Zach is making the ground up.
It appears that both McLaren boys aren't looking as confident with their cars as they were last week in Baku.
Well, you say that physics has halved the gap to Dutch over the last couple of laps. It did get out to 8 or 9 tenths.
He has, but in the process he also picked up another penalty. So I believe he may have corner cut to get his way back up. I mean, it works, but it sort of defeats the objective a little bit. CJ with another penalty. But definitely racking up. I don't know who's... Oh, Rivers picked up a penalty.
Well, no one. So that's nobody getting a clean race point this week. It's unfortunate.
So how far would you reckon that these ultra soft guys are going to take these tyres? Maybe 14, 15, 16 laps? I don't know. I didn't do much running on the ultra soft, so I'm not too sure.
Oh, there's contact between Zach and Plexits.
Let's cost Plexits a place.
Well,
Remco sneaks
yeah.
in.
I'll probably end up in the steward's room tonight.
He's allowed Kawandi to be in with a couple of tenths now.
Dutch is in the pits. See what he goes on to. It's another set of the ultra soft tyre.
So does that mean Dutch is going for another undercut? Because you normally would just split your two ultra soft stints in half, wouldn't you? But in that sense he's pitted, what, 2 laps early?
Yeah, it's where he's going to come out. What's the traffic situation going to be? He's behind Remco.
It is behind Remco, but I can't see him staying there very long.
Well, he's not going to want to be there for very long because it's going to negate what he's trying to do.
I mean, he has plenty of ERS. He's in overtake before the hairpin, so he wants a good run. He's got a good run, but it looks like a long way back to make move into the chicane. Second straight. Got a good run to the chicane.
Yeah, he's taken that very well.
Up inside of Remco for turn 1. Gets move done before turn 1. Now he's got 3 seconds of space between him and Zach. Where Plexit has got back into his rhythm and is now on the back of Remco and has pulled a second on Kawandi. For those Ravers Revenge fans out there, he's halved the gap between him and Cress's ghost car.
Well, Ox has been working hard for the last 12 laps to eat into Brand's lead. He's got it down to a second.
Tico, Physics and Bran are in the pit lane. Fresh Ultras for Tico. Fresh Ultras for Physics. And Bran has got on the Supers.
And Tico's got back on track ahead of T1000 Zach.
Plexits is back in. Obviously that spins a bit more wear on his tyres than he was expecting. He's gone on the Ultra Soft. Well, the two mates from Div 2 are close again in Div 1 with CJ and Tomo. As pointed out by House and Some. Thank you for that. And Tomo is in DRS range of CJ. Ox is in pit lane. Where will he come out in relation to Bran? There's less than a second before Bran pitted and Bran's gone on the Supers. As Ox managed to pull off an overcut. Bran's entering turn 1. Ox is coming out of pit lane now. So Bran's swimming in front of him still. So it's going to be just, and Ox is on the softer compound.
I've got to be honest, Brand's tyre choice has surprised me there.
Yeah, I think he's the only one that's come back on the Supers even. Have a yellow flag. Oh, Ravers has spun. He had momentarily overtaken Cress's ghost car, but now Cress's ghost car has just sneaked that advantage back. I've just got on board a Raver's car and it doesn't look like he's the happiest man in the world currently with the rate of just gear changes when he's pulling away. It just didn't seem like a man that wanted to be there tonight. Things just haven't gone his way. Well, Ox is obviously pushing, picking up a penalty. Oh, Zach and Dutch.
Yeah, Dutch just got past Zach.
It's not a place I would usually typify for an overtaking opportunity as well.
Dutch wasting little time.
So we're anticipating Zach coming in before long, but he might be going few more laps to go on the Hypersoft. As I would think from most of the guys that are still on the Supers. And Tomo is half a second behind CJ, and behind them is Bran, half a second behind them. It was Ox half a second behind them. So we currently have a 4-car train, and it's CJ leading the pack again. Rome has entered the pit lane.
Ox has got a monstrous run out of that first chicane, but can't do anything with it.
He's on the quicker tyres out of anybody in front of him, but doesn't really have anywhere to go with all this traffic in front of him. Tomo's had a bit of a slide.
I think he's going to send it in. No.
Oh.
Brand's covered it.
Oh,
Tomo's had a slide. Yep.
He must have caught the back of CJ for the car to go at that angle, so that's allowed Brand to get past. Ox with a better run. Gets past Tomo. So through very little fault of his own, Tomo has just lost 2 places in 2 corners.
Physics has got past Zach while we've been watching that.
He has indeed. I've just been on board with Zach as the next straight afterwards. Physics had DRS, but Zach was getting close to him down the straight. So I'm wondering if he was expecting a bit more rain in this race and has gone with a slightly more wet setup. Oh, Ox and Bran are side by side in the hairpin.
Yeah, Bran defending the inside still.
Bran up inside of CJ at the chicane, and Ox gets a better run than CJ, so CJ has just lost 2 places in 1 corner. And picked up a penalty. From what we've seen of CJ last year to this year, he's getting a bit boxed around this year. I mean, obviously a high caliber driver, but I'm expecting CJ to come out fighting before long.
Well, considering Brand's on the harder compound, he's doing a pretty good job against Ox at the moment, but now he's not got the DRS of the cars in front, he may struggle this lap.
So From, who pitted 2 laps ago, pitted onto the Hypersoft. So if he reckons the Hypersoft can go at the end, I'd expect Zach, Remco, Chicken Guy in, otherwise they might be trying to take these tyres to the end of the race.
Here goes Ox.
Got a few comments in. Aaron saying great reflexes from Ox to avoid Tomo being sideways, which was it? I don't know how they all didn't crash. Aaron asking me, I feel like we're starting to see a bit of quality from Ox. You don't know how good the lad can be, seeing that he has a bit of fight in him. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen the best from Ox for the last couple of seasons. I mean, he's a former FTRL champion, and he's a champion for a reason.
I mean, you see glimpses of it in his driving, as he's giving Chicken Guy a bit of trouble.
He is indeed. Oh, but they're still side by side. I don't think that's how Ox would have wanted to do it, because now Chicken Guy will have the inside for the hairpin and DRS, I want to guess.
Yep, Chicken Guy's got the
Chicken Guy has
DRS.
The Ox picks up a penalty. CJ's in the pit lane. I can only think CJ was trying to take those tyres to the end, but they've just cried enough because 5 laps to go. You would have thought he'd come in 7 laps to go to actually push the hypers to the end. But again, I'm just a Div 2 driver. I don't know. These guys know more than me. That's why they're in Div 1. But it has dropped CJ to 13th place behind From. And I believe From currently has the fastest lap of this race. So currently the fastest lap point will not be given out once again. So Ox has got past Chicken Guy again, but now Bran is on the scene.
Yeah, I think Ox gave Chicken Guy a little bit of a weave after he completed the move. Don't know if there was anything there untoward that he didn't like.
Ox picks up another penalty. That's 2 in 2 laps. Plexits has got past Tomo and is now in 9th place, so Plexits is back in the points.
Bran's trying to get by Chicken Guy.
Switch back out to turn 2? No.
I didn't quite have the traction to do it.
I mean, it might have actually made Aaron come out of hibernation, but obviously not. But I honestly have no idea who's going to finish where with all these penalties everybody's picking up. I don't have a clue. Bran has got Chicken Dude.
Yeah, he's muscled his way past, it's got to be said.
But again, Chicken Guy will have DRS. Off the outside line, so for a better run on the straight as well. Forum picks up a penalty, and CJ's got past him at the same time, so...
Yep, still coming in thick and fast, these penalties.
Chicken Dude on the outside in this game, but Bran's braked very late and made the corner. Great defensive driving. I mean, the offensive driving might have been a little bit harsh, but the defensive driving, there's nothing wrong with that so far.
I'm taking notes.
You don't need to take notes on defensive driving. I mean, you've been proclaimed as a bus, recently as a wall. Hard to think of many more things that are removable that we can't get past to name you by. So,
well, while Bran and Chicken Guy have been battling, Plexits has closed up on the back of them.
he has indeed. He has DRS on Chicken Dude. Slides his way past.
Oh, he's gone.
Plexus has lost it.
He's out.
But that's not what Tim McLaren want to see. Oh no. Maybe a bit too much drinking this time, Plexits. Maybe next time a bit more practice. Yeah. City Porsche, such a shame to see Caressing 14th.
Yep,
Had very good qualifying from him.
He's still a ghost car.
I will say he hasn't come back, has he? So I don't know if he just rage quit at the time, or his connections are letting him down, or...
So, a couple of laps to go. Ox is closing in on Remco's 5th place.
I mean, Ravers has got 5 seconds to try and close in on Cress in a couple of laps to make sure he's not the last car on track. Yeah, so currently From has fastest lap on a 10.1. Ox on Remco is going to go for the dive. Oh, sits behind him. Better exit. Oh no, he's tagged with one of the champions.
I say, scrape the wall.
Rivers has brought the gap down by a second this lap, but he's not going down quick enough for him. But currently Zach, Remco, Chicken Dude, Tomo and Rivers have stayed on the supers. They've pitted on to go off the intermediate tyre.
Ox up the inside at the hairpin. He's got the move done and he should have the DRS as well.
Kowandi's on the back of Tomo now. 10 lap all ultra softs, so 24 lap super softs. In the meantime, Tico is halfway around his last lap.
Yeah, it's come out and he completes the move.
Oh, Tomo's car looked very oversteery on corner entry, the first corner. Obviously these tyres aren't particularly happy currently. In 25 laps on a set of supers, he's struggling. Because that means Remco and Zach have to be struggling as well.
Well, picked up the race leader. Not seen a lot of him today, which normally means he's had a pretty error-free race. He's not had to defend from the guys behind. It's looked fairly comfortable throughout. And Tico takes his first win of the season. Dutch comes across the line in P2. Physics P3.
With a lot of penalties.
Zach's jumped him.
Penalties.
And that's a really good recovery drive from Zach in the end. Wonder what could have been had that first corner contact not occurred.
Ox 5th, but Remco and Brand jump him through penalties.
Chicken Guy stays P8.
Kawandi 9th. Tomo jumps Kawandi back to 10th. CJ 11th. And then everyone else, so I don't know what happened. Lennon cheer on his Red Bull team out in Tico, so he's obviously not drunk yet, so and Ren is falling on the presentation screen. So yeah, just to confirm, From got fastest lap, so that point will not be awarded again this week.
Yep, and no clean race points either. Everyone had a penalty.
How did we do? Right, Tico, Dutch, and Physics. Or Zach, one of them, equally. Oh, Aaron's gone. Bye, Aaron.
No, not usually.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Afternoon, Dutch. Cool, here two have been invited, so just wait for them to turn up.
Yeah, Tico was going to the toilet for a second.
Cool. So, just wait a little bit for Tico and then crack on.
Hey.
There he is. Well, first off, congratulations to you guys. P1, P2 and P4 in the end. We'll kick things off with Tico. So, first win of the season. Looked pretty comfortable throughout. We didn't see too much of you on stream. Probably symbolising just how fairly straightforward that drive was. So, how was your race? Can you just see as we didn't see it?
Yeah, after I got a good start, I pulled a little bit of a gap to Dutch and physics behind me. Yeah, and after I pulled a gap, it was a lonely race, and yeah, no troubles.
So, took pole position as well with a pretty solid qualifying lap. Zach almost pipped you at the end of the session, but you just held on to it. So, how does it feel taking a pole by such a narrow margin?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it, even though it was the best of laps. I tapped the wall one time, and I could have been 2-3 tenths better, but still happy with it.
And we know you've got that sort of drive in you, but consistency last season wasn't really there. So, can you? I'm guessing that was something that you're looking to improve on this season.
Yeah, this was the first time I practiced properly, and yeah, I think I'm going to practice for the next race as well.
Well, that's a good haul of points for you tonight. So, looking on to next week, it's China. Okay, so we know Pagani's opinion of China. What's yours?
Yeah, I don't like it as well. One of my worst tracks, so will be difficult to win, but I'm still going for it.
Good to hear. Well, congratulations tonight, and good luck for China.
Thanks.
Oh, right, it's me again, isn't it? Right, hang on. Oh, right, Dutch. How was that race from you? I mean, P2 in the end?
Yeah, pretty comfortable. Yeah, Tico pulled away in the first couple of laps, and when it got to dry, the gap stayed the same, and at the end he started to pull away more and more when I had to battle with physics and overtaking Shaq and some other guys. Lost some time in that, and yeah, after that wasn't any focusing more on Tico, but just looking behind on physics.
Obviously, this result is a million times better than your result last week.
Yeah, first good result as an admin.
Nice to see you back on the podium. Going forward, like I said, China next. How do you feel about China?
I feel pretty comfortable around there. Yesterday I had a league race, so was a good race from my side, and hoping for that next week as well.
We saw a couple of battles between yourself and Tico while you were teammates. Are you anticipating some more battles this season?
He's a bit too slow.
Just gonna wait till you bin it into the wall. So. 7 members memory.
What?
Well, I hope to battle as much as possible with everyone on track, and it will be nice if it ends well for me and him.
Well, as usual in FTRL, we've still got our Dutch-dominated Div1, so I mean, obviously you guys are bloody quick at the game, so please go a bit slower, would make us stop looking as bad as we are. But nah, congrats on the P2 this week, and hopefully we'll see you up here again next week.
Thank you. I hope so.
Okay, physics. P3 on the road, but ended up P4 due to penalties. But in the end, it wasn't a bad night for you, you've held the lead of the championship after your teammate's unfortunate retirement in the closing stages.
Yeah.
So, Constructors' Championship's been hindered slightly, but on a personal level, not a bad result in the end.
Yeah, what a shit track, mate. What the fuck? I'm sorry, it's unbelievable, but yeah. Was a shit race, so yeah. I don't know what's good better about the Dutch or so yeah.
Yeah, you spent a lot of that race looking at Dutch's rear wing and gearbox. You must have a pretty good picture of the Ferrari's
nice
back
guys.
end in your
Some
mind.
nice
So, looking,
no, it was fun. So
looking to next week, is China a better track for you than Canada? Do you rank that one
much better,
above?
Much better than Canada. I hate it. Yeah. It's better. Not my best track, but it's better than Canada. Every track is better than Canada, so.
Okay, so from here onwards and upwards then.
Yeah. I hope so.
Well done tonight. Unlucky not to stay on the podium, but
Yeah.
like you say, I'm sure
All fault, so it's alright. It's
better
alright.
things next week.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, well, before we get to next week, we've got Division 2, fingers crossed, tomorrow night.
I want to race. Let me race. Woo!
Yeah, I think you're echoing all of Division 2 sentiments there, mate. So, we hope you'll be able to join us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for a stream. And then on Wednesday night is probably one you don't want to be missing out on, because we're doing a race round Bahrain in full wet conditions in our challenge series. So that should throw up some fun and surprises. And then later on in the week, on Thursday, we've got the FTRL versus PSGL round 2 on Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah.
Where we're holding a 9-point lead after round
We
1.
are indeed. Come on, boys, we can do this. Come on!
And then on Friday we continue our GT3 series on Gran Turismo for rounds 5 and 6 of that. So, action-packed week lined up, and we hope you can join us for those. We'll catch you then.